Hello guys, this is your boy Manny Hernandez here, and today I want to talk to you about ICOs. Before we get into that, let's do the regular disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, I don't know anything. All the information that I share with you is the findings that I do, that I gather through my own research and the research of my team. Before you decide to invest in anything, you are obligated to do your own due diligence, because I am not responsible for any loss of money that you may incur. You could lose all your money if you follow my advice. Okay, with that out of the way, I want to bring the topic about ICOs, because ICOs right now are really hot. ICOs are a great way to make a ton of money if you know what you're doing. But ICOs are also a great way to lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. See, ICOs stands for Initial Coin Offering. For those of you who are more familiar with the traditional world or startup world, there's a thing called IPO. Initial public offering. That's how a traditional company, aka like for example Facebook, before going public into Wall Street, right, and get listed on the exchanges and be a publicly traded opening, they did what is known as pre-IPO, where they sell stocks of the company into private investors to raise money so that they can raise the capital that allowed them to ultimately build Facebook, right? So ICOs, are initial coin offerings, are quite similar to an IPO. Instead of selling stock or shares of the company, what these companies offer you are coins that are used within the system, because companies that usually use ICOs as a way to raise money are companies who are working to develop blockchain or distributed decentralized layers into the blockchain industry. Like they're looking to build new technologies that use these public ledgers or private ledgers as well to handle information that are very useful nowadays. So they use coins that are ultimately using within their system that one can trade back and forth and become like this little stock market. We know it as the cryptocurrencies market nowadays. So investing on an ICO is like investing on a company before it goes public. And this happens quite fast versus how it happens with an IPO. In an IPO, it takes years for a company to actually get into the exchanges. In the ICO world, usually a company launches the ICO and gather investors, people invest, and then the coin gets to the exchanges a couple months after the ICO takes place, and there is where you can actually make a ton of money. But the issue is that while at the same time there are many ICOs that are coming out who are really good and are revolutionary on itself, there is also many ICOs who are pure crap. Actually, the amount of ICOs that are bullshit are way higher than the amount of ICOs that are actually good, legit looking products or companies or business models that can actually get somewhere. So what we do is that, I've been investing heavily in ICOs for the past months, actually for the past year now, but I haven't told anybody because why? I've been making good money, and now I see that ICOs are really hot, and I see that there's a lot of opportunity for many guys to actually benefit from the information and make their own decision or their own mind if they want to participate on XYZ ICO or not. But that's how it works. So what we do is that we do a ton of research. Like when an ICO comes out, the first thing that we look is like, what is the technology? What problem are they looking to solve? What type of ICO is? Is a DApp or a DDApp or a decentralized app? Is a platform? Is a blockchain? Is a proof of concept? What is it? You know? Usually I like platforms, I like blockchains. Decentralized apps are good. I'm not a fan of them. They're good, but many times you have an issue, and I will explain here where I have some issues with some of them. But there are many apps, apps who are extremely good as well. But you know, platforms and blockchains and all of that, they're really good. Are looking to improve on the current technology. We like those. We need to look. We like to look at, you know, what is it? You know, it's a proof of concept. There is a demo version of it, or there is a beta, an alpha of the technology. Is there a minimum viable product? Usually we like to see that there's a minimum viable product ready when the ICO comes out, that speaks well, that speaks that the team is being doing what they are supposed to do. Another thing that we do in our team is that we dive deep into the team. That's something that pretty much nobody does, because I don't know, because no matter how good the idea is, no matter how revolutionary the concept is, if the team behind it is not capable of enough to carry out with the vision, the project will fail. And if you invested on the ICO, you will lose money. Plain and simple. So what we do is that we dive deep. Who are these people who have this vision and want to build this company and this technology? What are their previous projects? What are their past? What have they been involved with? You know? This is crazy important. We dive deep on who is of every person of the team. We have somebody who's just doing that. That's when we're researching ICOs. I have a person who is only in charge of looking who is behind it and finding out who they are and what's the deal, and then, you know, we give like a score A to F, you know, A, B, C, D, you know, kind of like on school, to see, you know, how good is the team. Another thing that we look is like, who are the advisors? You know, like in a regular startup, advisors can take a project to the next level through their already in place connections. So if they have strong advisors, you can have an indicator that the project will succeed, because advisors that are reputable enough and have connections can use those connections to get the technology to be adopted faster. So that's another good indicator. Something else that we look at, this is heavy, we look into this heavy, is like, what is people talking, what are people saying, what is the hype level? We join their Telegram chats, we join their Reddit, we join 4chan, we join their Twitter, we join every community, and we analyze how fast that community, how that community is growing. And we do this, like for example, you can go to Telegram and you join and you look how many members the Telegram has, and then you go the next day how many members it has today, and then the next day, and you do that like for a week, and you can determine how fast is that community growing. That gives you like an idea of the hype levels, like how, at what rate are people joining, and not only what are they joining, what is being said about. You know, you go to Bitcoin Talk and you go to all these communities and Reddit and 4chan and Telegram and Discord, and you will not find these projects on Skype or Messenger or WhatsApp. You know, those are not the channels that these projects use. And you can find, you know, how fast are threads moving, how fast is people commenting, and what is the general tone of the conversation. Is it a positive conversation, or is it a negative conversation, or is it a neutral conversation? You gotta look into all those aspects. Then once we look in all that and everything looks good, then we look into one important question. The most important question is, what is what part of the play the token takes place. Is the token needed? That's something that a lot of people don't think about, and it fucking blows my mind, to be honest, because I'm like, you can have the best technology, the best app, the best everything, but if the token that I'm purchasing from you is not needed in your system for the system to work, then that means that there's not a real reason for anybody to join me, to buy it. And then if I buy it, and then I want to sell it to somebody else, why will they buy it? They can use the system and the service without the token. The token is not needed. Clear example of this is Ripple. Ripple is one thing, and XRP is a different thing. And for all the vision and the stuff that Ripple is supposedly doing, the XRP token is not needed. Like changing the SWIFT for banking systems and changing it, replacing it for the Ripple technology with something better, the XRP token is not needed by that. There's no incentive for the banks to use the XRP token because it's not needed in the system. So that makes the coin worthless. So that's something you need to analyze very well and know for a fact that the token is an important part of the equation. Once you have all that, then you dive into another section. This is just all that it goes on the research of every single ICO, guys. You gotta look into the token economics. What is the total supply? How much of that supply is gonna be issued during the ICO? Is it 100%? Is it 50%? If it's 75%, then what's going to happen with the other 35%? When will that be issued, or where does those tokens go? You got to look into all that. That token supply, because that will determine what is the total supply and what is the circulating supply. And there's something else that people don't even think about. I haven't never seen somebody talk about this. What is the effective circulating supply? Let me give you an example. Ccoin. I called Ccoin and I said that Ccoin was going to pop. And when I did that, the coin was trading around $30. Right now it's trading around $100 right now. And why did I say that? Because Ccoins are being mined, but they were going to launch the master node. So you have your total supply, the amount of Ccoins are going to ever exist. Then you have there was 3 million circulating supplies, the amount of Ccoins that are in circulation right now, that are being mined, that already got mined and are in the hands of people. But when the C nodes launched, there were over 1,500, and I need to count now, 1,500 C nodes that got launched. Each C node takes 1,000 coins. So that means that out of the 3 million that are in circulation, 1.5 million of them got locked inside a C node. So the effective circulating supply is actually way less, making the coin more valuable. I hope that I'm making sense here, guys. And I hope that I'm not going too technical on you. But this is the stuff, this is all the stuff that you gotta look at when you're researching an ICO. Then you gotta look, okay, the token economics makes sense. You know, what is the circulating supply? What is the total supply? What will potentially be the effective circulating supply? There's no website, easy website that will give you this information. You gotta throw your numbers and do your math and figure that one out. Then you're gonna look what is the hard cap, the soft cap, and the hard cap of the ICO. How much money are they looking to raise, and how does that play into the token economics? Because if they're looking to raise 100 million tokens, and then the circulating supply is 100 million, is 1 billion tokens, then shit, you know, the coin, it starts with a 100 million market cap. Usually you want to be looking at coins or ICOs that are realistic and they're, you know, like 15, 20, 30 million hard cap. That's a good stuff. Then you gotta look into what are going to happen with the coins after. You know, if the ICO does not reach the hard cap goal, that means that there were a bunch of tokens that were not sold or distributed at the ICO level. What is the team planning to do with those coins? Usually you want them to be burned. You know, they go out of circulation. Or, so what some ICOs do is that they distribute them among the ICO participants in the form of bonuses, which is good too, but I like more, you know, if they get out of the circulation, in the end that increases the value of the tokens that I am actually holding. How are they going to get distributed? On the Neo network, Ethereum, on blockchain, something differently? Are they going to get distributed immediately via ERC20 tokens in the Ethereum network, or is it going to be something different? You know, are they going to get distributed right away, or after the token sale is over, a couple months after the token sale is over? You're going to look into all that, because that will give you an idea of how soon you will be able to actively trade, if you decide to do so, the tokens. Like if you want to cash out, you need to have the tokens on your hands. A clear example of this is Tezos. Tezos launched one of the biggest ICOs in the history. They raised like $200 or $300 million. But those who invested on Tezos don't have the tokens yet. Those tokens have not been distributed. So you cannot find Tezos on the exchanges, and it's been on like a year. And where are the tokens? Nobody has them. So that's just to give you an idea of you know, these are shark investor waters, and you need to know what you're doing, guys. So this is all the stuff that we do. You look into the team, you look into the technology, the use cases, the market. You gotta look at what is the potential use cases of the technology, how big is the market, because if the market is too niche, then that decreases the value of the token. You wanna look for some stuff that the masses can actually use, or there are huge industries around it that can benefit from the technology. That's another thing that you look at. So you gotta do all this research. And when you find that the token passes all that and it's a good token and everything is on point, then you decide, all right, what's your risk level? You should always invest money that you're 100% willing to lose. Because even with all this, at the end of the day, you know, the project may fail. It happens. So you gotta keep all this in mind. When you're taking risks, you know, ICOs are hot, ICOs are amazing, they're a great way to make money. They're a great way to grow your wealth if you know what you're doing. What we do is, like, there are many great projects coming out and there are many bad projects that are coming out. But even in the amount of great projects, there are so many that we cannot possibly invest in all of them. So what we do is that we research and we find those, you know, we're like cherry picking, you know, we find those gems, those ICOs that we think and we feel that they have the best possible chance of succeeding, and we invest on those. And we've been sharing some of them for free in our Facebook wall. We haven't, although that there's a lot of time, effort, and research that goes into analyzing each and every ICO. Usually you don't see me talking bad about an ICO. I talk bad about a couple coins because they, especially when they go against the whole vision of cryptocurrencies. I'm a believer. I've been doing this for years now. I'm a miner, I'm a trader, I'm an investor. I accept cryptocurrencies for my services. I am a true believer of the technology, and I actually already foreseen technologies that nobody's even talking about yet that are, in my opinion, change the way that blockchains work and change where the future is going. It can even change blockchain as a whole, I think. But it's too early, you know, they're in way early stages still, so I'm not gonna confuse, I don't want to confuse anybody with them. The time will come when these technologies arrive and they're mature enough for the market, and there will be coins released for that, and I will try to let you guys know when that happens. Just make sure, I don't know where you're watching that video, but if it's in Facebook, make sure you follow me. You can go to your following settings and set your settings to see first. If you're watching this on Facebook, on YouTube, my bad, well, subscribe, like, make sure you stay up to date with what I put out. Now, with all this said, I want to ask you guys a question. It's very important for me to know. I would like to know this. If I were to put a group setting, I don't know yet how it's gonna work, or a group setting or something private where I share all this information with you. I share my research and I share those tokens that are great tokens. The tokens that I'm personally investing in, and I give you like the reasons. What is the tag? What is the tokenomics? What is this? What is that? What is the team rating? What is the advisor rating? What is how everything looks? Will you be interested in something like that? Of course, it's going to be paid. It's not going to be cheap, because the amount of money that goes into, the amount of effort that goes into this is crazy. But also the amount of money that you can make out of these is crazy. I'm not going to make less than $10 million just this year from ICOs. That's just me personally. Because although that not all the ICOs will succeed, some of them will. And those that do, all that it takes is just 1 or 2 or 3 that actually go and do a moon landing, for those of you that know what I'm talking about. And I'll be running naked on the streets, when that happens. Well, it has happened to me a couple times already, but that's the things that you gotta look for. You have a diversified portfolio of ICOs, and most of them will do decent. The worst case scenario, you pretty much break even or sell at a little bit of a loss on those failing projects. But all that it takes is just a couple of them to actually go and hit it hard, and 100x, 200x their value for you to take raking pretty heavy profits. And it's thanks to the research that we do that you could possibly achieve that. So the question is, will you be interested in a group, private group, paid settings, exclusive, where I share this information with you guys? I've been, on my Facebook giving you a little teasers of the stuff and giving you actually pretty good coins or ICOs that people can decide if they choose to invest in. But I want to be able to share every ICO that I invest in. I would like to share it in a private group environment. It's not going to be free. It's going to be charged properly. It's going to be priced properly based on the amount of effort that goes. Something else that we do, I forgot to tell about this, is that we look at the GitHub. It's an open source. It's a private. It's an open source project or not. We look at the GitHub, the amount of commits, what is the code. We actually have developers that look inside the code to make sure that the code is legit and the code is doing what it's supposed to do, something that nobody else does. But that's that's just to show you to the extent that we go when we're researching these things. Something else that I want to point out, that it's not just the group that I have planned is not only to share everything that goes into the ICO side of things. That would be kind of like the main benefit, to be honest, because that's where you can make money easiest and fastest. But if you choose to invest in the ICOs, that's your choice. I will never tell you put this amount of money or X amount of money there. I'm just going to share my research, what I do, how I do it. What you do, that's your deal, okay? But we also plan to have whales pools, and that's where something that can allow you to benefit from the big bonuses that comes out on pre-sales. Actually, we got deals that happens on the private sale. Like for example, I get into many private sales, but many of these private sales have like a 50 ETH or Ethereum minimum, and the regular guys don't have that. But you get like crazy bonuses on privately. We are inside, we get the deals, we cannot disclose them, publicly. We can do in a private group setting, but we cannot disclose them publicly. But what happens is like we can set up a Wells pool, and we can show and teach how all that works is on a trusted smart contract fashion where it's transparent Wells pools setting. But what happens is that like you might not have 50 Ethereums to invest in a project, but you have 2, and then the next guy have 3, and the next guy have 1, and the next guy have 5. So we all gather together on a transparent smart contract type environment where we put our funds together, buy in, and get the higher bonus percentage out of the private sales of these ICOs. So we will have some of that in there. We will have, for those of you who are US based, that most of the ICOs are considered to be securities, and therefore usually by rule of thumb 90% of the ICOs ban US investors. You have to be an accredited investor to actually invest. I invest in many of them because I am an accredited investor. But that's not the case for the majority of the regular, average Joe down the street. So I cannot go much into it, but we got a way to help you guys too. I got a way to help you guys. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? And so, US Canadian people can participate as if they are accredited investors, thanks to, that's all I'm going to say, all right? But there's great times ahead of us. The opportunity here is immense. This is the greatest discovery of the century or the lifetime, of a lifetime. The technology that is ahead of us is amazing. The stuff that the ICOs and the stuff that people are coming out with are incredible, and we are looking to a bright future, my friends. So those of you who see the vision sit on the front row of these changes will profit the most out of it. You have that chance if you're watching that video. So let me know in the comments below whether you're looking at this video on Facebook or on YouTube. Tell me on the comments below, will you be interested on something like this where we share with you and we help you? And we're gonna have also information about mining. I am heavily into mining. I have been mining for years now. I am heavily into it. Okay? Actually, I have my blew up miner. This miner is always disconnected because I blew one of the hash boards. And actually, I'm fixing this next month because I'm going to the States and it's easier to get the hash board there. Actually, it's not the hash board, and the control panel is messed up. So I'm gonna fix this. But this is, I have it here because I love to look at it, touch it, kiss it, everything. Because these are money-making machines and they're amazing pieces of technology. Actually, I see this as a collectible. In the future, people will look back and look at these miners as collectible items. That's how crazy things are, guys. Okay? So, I'm gonna cut it here, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, share, like, whatever it is. Share the knowledge, but let me know, what do you think? Will you be interested in something like this? Will you be interested in joining me and get access to all this amazing information that me and my team are collecting every day? For us, we do it because we are heavily investing in ICOs. We've been doing this for a while now, but I do see where you can also benefit from it. This is your boy Manny Hernandez, and thank you for watching. And remember, it's not about the money, it's about the freedom.